The beans are starting to bloom. And see all the little blooms and all those will make beans, snap beans. They're starting to run. It's a good sign. But we've got a problem with maybe some bacteria getting on the leaves. And so most of this bacteria can be treated with a solution of soapy water, antibacterial soap mixed in with some water, and use a pump sprayer. I'll spray them on the leaves and it'll help kill that bacteria. Do it 2 or 3 times until all the mold is gone. Oh, if it's on squash and zucchini, it's called powdery mold. It's no big deal to treat. See how the starting on the edge of the leaf right there. Go ahead and pull that grass up while I'm here. You see how it's on the edge of the leaf right there. Then on the other leaf, I'll probably just get a solution of soap and water. Go through here and spray them down. These are our potatoes.
In the backyard?
Yeah, the backyard. Coming along nicely. We've got some potato blooms. We've got potato sprouts still coming up. Need to pull some of the grass up out of here. That's what we're trying to teach the kids how to do, just pull weeds a little bit. While they're out here playing, might as well get some use out of them.
That's not a weed.
Got fresh potato plants still coming up. Like that one. The corn is probably anywhere from 1 foot tall to 6 inches tall. Got some grass mixed in there with it, but oh well. Video. We got some cucumbers. Thing with cucumbers, the roots are roots are on the top of the ground, or shallow roots. So if your fertilizer is real deep, the roots may not reach it. So you want your fertilizer towards the top of the soil, and these cucumbers will start off growing a little bit slow. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, they start running. I don't know whether they're like growing their roots once they get sprouted up like this, whether they start growing their roots and then all of a sudden start going through a growth spurt on top, or what. But
well, could it be too, once the runs start running, they'll get roots that come off the runs that'll provide more nutrients for the
no, they don't. The runs don't have roots like that. They just grab onto stuff to climb.
Oh, okay.
The Bonnie patio, the container tomato. These do not get very tall like some tomato plants do. These produce a lot of tomatoes in a very small confined area. Out of the 3 tomato plants that we've planted, these are the first one. This is the first one to get actual tomatoes on it. Right now we have 1, 2, and then a 3rd tomato right there. And overall this plant ain't but about maybe 10 inches tall. You can see how condensed the blooms are. The last time I grew these, they produced a tomato about the size of a quarter, say a cherry tomato, about that size right there, and they produced a lot of tomatoes relative to the size of the plant. These are what you call big beef tomatoes. And now, something I want to point out is that both of these tomatoes were planted at the same time, bought at the same time. You can see the size difference between them. This one here, this one right here, was planted in a mixture of organic potting soil, manure, and triple 13 fertilizer. This little scrawny one over here was planted in only a mixture of, it only had, I think, some organic potting soil and maybe a little bit of manure in it. So I'm attributing the difference in the size in the triple 13 fertilizer that was used and the size of the pot. Notice the green one here has got a lot larger pot where the roots can spread out. This one here is not so much. Let's see about this one. What kind of tomatoes? Now compare this one to the patio tomato that we just looked at. Is that we have tomato blooms up here at the very top, but no tomatoes yet. No actual tomatoes yet. And notice how tall it is. It's probably close to 2 foot tall and no tomatoes. while the patio tomato was only about a foot tall and had 3 tomatoes on it. So if you're, say, living in a urban situation where you have limited amount of space, then the patio tomato is going to be a much better choice. These are grape tomatoes. These are just planted in some horse manure in organic potting soil. I still need to add some triple 13. Down underneath there, the soil is nice and rich, but I'm still going to add some triple 13 commercial fertilizer to it. And we have a lot of blooms. Ooh, look. I just now noticed that we've got one little grape tomato starting to form. So that's our first grape tomato so far. And on this other plant, I don't see any so far. Alright, so there we go. We've got, let's review, 3 types of tomatoes. Big beef, grape tomato, and the patio tomato. And out of these 3 types of tomatoes, the patio tomato started producing first, and it's the smallest plant. The grape tomatoes, whenever they get grown, whenever they start growing, they can get it reach like 6 feet tall. So these are definitely not for any type of patio person. Alright guys, well that's it for this week, and I will talk to y'all later.